right. Well, after a little bit of a try from the British fella, we're fine.
Hello? Did we lose Stuart?
I think Stuart just froze.
Hi.
Which is,
Yeah, are we there? Are we there?
Oh, there, we are now.
Yeah, okay, silly wave time. Silly wave time. Okay, you get the silly waves in. All right. So, Nick, what is the temperature where you are today?
It's about 25, 26, so it feels like it anyway.
Oh, very chilly. Diogo, what's the temperature for you?
Too hot, over 30.
Hey.
Over 30. Okay, fantastic. And Rami, what about you? What's the temperature where you are?
You can't really count on it. I'm in London.
Okay. So it could be anything in the next 10 minutes. All
exactly.
Right, well, welcome to August Demo Night. You know, it's great to do these editions remotely during the summer. We did July last month remote as well. And then in September, we come back in person with 3 demo nights. So one in Lisbon, one in London, and one in Cornwall, all in the same month in person, different teams in each one. And I will be in 2 of the 3, which will be great. We're doing our first demo night at the Nova campus in Carcavelos as well. So we'll see how that all goes. It's going to be a lot of fun. So tonight we have Rami and Diogo giving their demos, and we're going to start with Rami. So, mate, it's 5 minutes to demo, 5 minutes Q&A. Let's see what you got, okay? So if you want to share your screen, and we'll drive from there.
Awesome. All right. Please let me know when you see my screen.
Perfect. There you go.
All right. Perfect. Hi, everyone. My name is Rami. I'm one of the founders of a company called Equizy. Equizy is an AI-native fundraising platform uniting investors, startups, and accelerators to make fundraising smarter, faster, and global. Myself, I'm coming from a long background of supporting startups in anything that is related to go-to-market and fundraising. And I do understand exactly the struggle a founder faces, especially that they are fully focused on their product, MVP, and go-to-market. They don't have a lot of time to really navigate the complexities of fundraising. And that's where Equizy comes to play. So the main value proposition we provide for startups is twofold. First is the investment readiness piece, where we provide various features that help startups become investment ready. And the second part is the matchmaking with investors. Unlike other platforms where they give you a list of emails for potential investors, and then you machine gun them with your pitch deck and complain later on why no one is replying back to you. Unlike that, we provide a matchmaking mechanism that protects both party and only interacts with each other whenever there's a match. Without further ado, allow me to just navigate through a quick example or a quick demo just to help you understand exactly how Equizy can support. So this is the startup module. As you can see here on the left, we have dashboard, fundraising, investment readiness, and data room. I'll start by reversing them. Let's start with data room. So when you go to my document, 1 second, just make sure no one is pushing anything. All right. When I go to my document, you can easily just upload any document in here, create any folder. Allow me to upload a quick document here. Let's say if we upload this one. All right, I think this is the worst time to push anything to the back end. Okay. All right, can I reverse back? Because I think the guys are pushing some code. I didn't let them know that this is happening. Is that fine? Stuart?
What do you mean?
Like if I just pause and let someone else start the demo and then I come back and do my demo again?
We can switch over to Diogo if you want, but I'm happy for you. Yeah, you sure? Okay.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Diogo, you thought you had 10 minutes to just chill out, Diogo, and here you are. You just getting
Absolutely.
Sorry about that, guys. Apologies.
Well, this is what we like about live demos, right?
Exactly.
You know, the bravest one we saw in London was the guy got up with his phone, had a little camera over the top of it, and just did a demo right there and then with no prep. It was really well received as well, but it could have gone horribly wrong, right? Anything could have gone.
That's what builds you up, I guess. So let me know when I can start, I guess.
Yeah, you are most welcome. We can see your screen. So go ahead, Diogo.
Awesome. Okay, so hi everyone. I'm Diogo. I'm co-founder and CEO of Kubuntu. And here at Kubuntu, we're all about building sustainable ecosystems of communities. And our vision is essentially that a thriving community depends when the members in the community thrive. And to put that into more practical terms, we let community members leverage the audience of an existing community to promote their own work. And in return, the community leader makes extra revenue from that. You can call it a good alternative or even a complete replacement to subscription models in communities. Because in this model, we're empowering members to sell through communities and the leader earns commissions from it. Right now, we're currently integrating with Slack and Discord communities, but in the future, our future roadmap includes our own platform where we allow all sorts of communities from all niches all around the world to employ our model. What you see right here is our plugin dashboard. So this is connected to both Slack and Discord, as I mentioned. And the user account you have here is both a community leader and a community admin. If I go here to the admin dashboard, one of the many perks you can do is say, well, if a member promotes inside a community, then the number one concern of a community leader should be, hey, I don't want to turn my community into an advertising hub. So we allow full control over who posts inside the community, what content is posted inside the community, what is the cooldown between each advertising post of a product endorsement in the community. And if none of these rules, or if any of these rules aren't applied by the members, our bots, which are our overwatchers in the community, you can call them that, they cut down the messages and they keep everything clean and nice and smooth, basically. So you can configure literally everything here from your hub dashboard, like the cooldown, what channels members can post. You can connect payout accounts. We support both Stripe and PayPal at the moment. And all the products you can promote inside communities are currently connected to Gumroad, which is basically a third-party creator platform. But in the future, we're going to integrate our own marketplace when we plan to expand more globally. But I'm just going to show you a very simple demo because this is a kind of a complex product, has a lot of little features and nuances. But what you see here is a Discord community, which is connected to Kubuntu, okay? And as a community member, I can just come here, create a post. I select the community, which is Kubuntu server, our test community. I can view my products here. And these products, as I said, they're linked to Gumroad. I select a product. And I mean, everyone knows social media nowadays, right? So just create a post like you would create in any social media. Hey guys, check out my new product. And our business model includes a lot of nuances and features. For instance, premium users, so the premium content creators, they can write longer messages, they can customize their messages, they have faster cooldown periods. It basically allows content creators to pull out the best in themselves. But I can create a post, select a channel in the community. If I want to post directly right now, or I can choose to schedule and basically create product advertising campaigns inside community. So I schedule them on the clock each week or each day. I schedule a post and the post was created. I just scheduled one. I should have made an instant one. Sorry about that. I'm going to cancel this one. So I'm going to create an instant post just so you can see the bot in action. Just a very simple message. Hey guys, I'm going to select the channel, post now. And as you can see, the bot handles literally everything. And the post was created. And here it is on the server. You can choose to post this either with the bot or you can copy and paste the message yourself so it's more personal. And what happens now is this is an affiliate link. So we fully integrate with affiliate marketing. If someone clicks this link, we track engagement, sales, who clicked the link, where are they, what time, and we provide all these metrics to the community leader and the content creator. And when someone buys through this, well, the content creator, they earn the revenue from the product, but the community leader gets a commission established by the community leader from the product sold in the community. And that's basically one of the core premises of Kubuntu, which is creating sustainable ecosystems. That's it from my side. Any questions?
All right, I'll take the honor of the first question, and then I'll move over to Mr. Everset. What's the inspiration for this, Diogo?
Oh, good question, Stuart. Thank you. So I come from a background of software engineering. I have 5 years in cybersecurity. And there was a point in my life where I don't know, was kind of bored, I guess, and I quit my corporate job, and I kind of fell in love with everything around psychology, behavioral economics, how do people function, what is business in essence, like what provides value to people, and I studied that really in depth, and I discovered that true engagement arises when people's attention go, basically. And attention, in a sense, is giving people ownership of something. So if I give you something valuable to you, then you're going to be way more into it than if I didn't. And that's the whole premise. So if we give back ownership of community to the members, engagement is going to skyrocket. But we have to do it in a very controlled way so it doesn't become a spam advertising marketplace, essentially.
Yeah, spam is an interesting side effect of this. Okay, Dr. Eversett, what's your thoughts as a marketeer on this one?
I mean, I think it's very interesting. I mean, but I'm kind of really interested in understanding what your ideal client is for this. Who? I mean, obviously you're early, but who are you kind of targeting? What kind of communities, and why? What are they looking for that makes them want to come with Kubuntu?
Very good question as well. Thank you. So we currently have another app, you can say. It's a shared community calendar. You can call it a decentralized calendar at this stage, where every member posts their events and futurely, I shouldn't be saying this right now, but we're going to cramp it up into a blog as a calendar so people can make posts and advertise to their events to other people. But the main thing we noticed is that building sustainable communities is getting harder and harder and harder nowadays, because yes, you can grow a big community, but the moment you set a subscription to it, people just start to churn or they lose interest. It's not the same thing. It's very hard. And the whole premise about what we're doing is, how do we tackle this in a sustainable way, but also in an authentic way, so you don't lose the core engagement of the community. So it's a very thin line between the product design has to really match the psychology behind how do people perceive the value and what brings them to community in the first place. Thanks for the question. Anyone else?
If I may?
Of course.
Congrats, Diogo. I really enjoyed your demo, and I'm a huge fan of communities. As you don't know me, but yeah, I have always a lot of questions. The first one, and probably the only one, is what's your business model? How are you making money out of this?
Good question. So right now it's completely free for community leaders because this is just a plugin. We don't want to overcharge them for testing out something new, which is scary sometimes. What we do is any content creator that wants to crank it up a notch, so sell a bit more, earn more commissions from their sales, get some insights. Basically, we help them sell more in the community with insights, lower cooldowns, higher commissions, etc. It's a $10 subscription per month for content creators. And Nick, I didn't answer your question, sorry. We're currently in talks with 18 communities. One of them is quite a very big community. It's 70,000 people. So if you make the numbers, of course, we can't close every single community member. And from the community members we close, not all of them will upgrade, but you can make the calculations fairly quickly. So there's a lot of potential, and absolutely nobody in the world does this yet.
I'm sorry, if you still have time, I would like to elaborate a bit more, because you're selling these to community managers. So everyone in the community will have access to the tool. How does it work?
It's completely free. It's completely free for both community leaders right now, but in the future we plan to upgrade our features. And as soon as we scale up a little bit and we can provide them with basically saying, okay, this works, here's actual value, not just testing out something new right now. You can actually earn more money with this for community leaders. Then we start charging more for them. But right now we want to lower friction, so it's free for community leaders. For community members, so the content creators who want to promote their content, it's also free, but we have like a premium subscription, a $10 subscription per month, where they earn more commissions, they have lower cooldowns between posts, meaning they can post more often, and they can make prettier and longer posts. So that's
right, but the non-paying members are still visible to the community leader in terms of tracking activity and everything else?
If they sign to the platform, yes. But the whole intention is, if you're a community leader and you don't want to sell, well, you don't need to join Kubuntu. You can just literally click the endorsement links the other creators post and you buy through them.
Okay, thank you.
What's the real need that you're solving, Diogo? What's the real pain point in the community space?
So this is kind of from a personal frustration that I had a while ago, which is I wanted to become a writer. It's kind of a passion of mine, but it's very hard to. It doesn't depend on whether you're good or not. It actually depends on a lot of luck, and social media is very noisy nowadays. So you have to fight through the algorithms, and it's a constant battle of who shouts more and who shouts higher or louder. And I thought, well, where are my people? And then I met Nina, my co-founder, Nina Simon, who unfortunately couldn't be here today. And she's a community builder with 10 years of experience. I'm sure you know her already, Stuart. And when I exposed her my frustration and my thought process for Kubuntu, she just said, here is every single niche in the world you can have, highly concentrated and highly engaged hubs of people, of like-minded people. Why don't we tap into that? And if you translate that to any sort of indie content creator, freelancer, etc., people need their audience to promote their work. And the audience is in community. You just need to find the proper product infrastructure and business model, of course, to create a social contract in a sense between the content creator or the writer or whoever it is who wants to expose themselves and the community leader, to do it in an orderly, fashioned way, in an authentic way.
It's interesting because when I first heard your idea, I really liked it about around the Canopy idea of sharing knowledge between each other, and how, to a certain extent, you'd end up then monetizing those shares, which would encourage more of it. So, we have this belief within Canopy that every member has something to learn, but also has something to give to others. And so, how can you create that two-way dialogue thing?
Exactly, because if you think about it, people don't just join a community because, hey, I want to learn something new. No, people can learn something new on their own. Right? People want to be seen learning something new. People want to share what they've learned. People want to teach other people. So like you said, Stuart, it's very important that currently, I think that communities are a very one-way directional conversation. It's what the people receive. It's not about what they can give. And we're tapping into what people can give. We're giving them the space so they can bring something to the community.
Stuart, assuming that it's not very usual to have a lot of time, I'd like to share to Diogo a thought. Maybe it's not even a suggestion. You are thinking a bit too much on selling. Okay, communities are driven by intrinsic motivators, not extrinsic. I think as a community manager, I would be interested in having a solution that would allow me to keep my community vibrant, alive, and growing.
Yeah.
And you can do using also gamification methods or tools outside extrinsic motivation. You can do a lot that will probably it's harder to make a direct connection between gains and payments to you, okay? But I'm sure you could find other metrics that could justify for prospects starting to have a cost using your product, as long as those metrics are what the community leader thinks are the most relevant to ensure that her community is as is planned. Okay. When you focus too much on sales, it sounds like you're finding a solution, an alternative solution for influencers / social media on communities. I would consider adding something to that. To not say I would consider going elsewhere, but at least adding something to that, because that sounds like if it was a tool for that, influencers getting traction on social media, it was a different story. As far as I understood, it's not your goal. So I would add other, I would say, methods,
other nuances,
and other metrics that probably will help you speed up the adoption process, and then move to other more tangible things. Just a tip.
Thank you.
That's an excellent observation. Excellent observation. I have a lot to add to that.
Have you got
Go ahead, Nick. Sorry.
No, I was just wondering if there's one more time for one question. I've got a question, but I'm just trying to understand what I think the product is, and I just feed that back to you. And it just seems to be, it takes a lot of energy to keep a community going. It's very hard to find ways in which you can monetize the effort you're putting in. Let's put it that way. That actually, in order to allow you to focus it as a community leader. What you're trying to do is provide options for generating some income, which the community can control, rather than allowing it to go to an external provider where the control is all with them and they decide how many adverts you see and that kind of thing. So although the community leader can have a slightly different potential than the user, they are part of the community, and hopefully they will want to keep it strong and vibrant at the same time as trying to get paid for their work. Let's put it that way. So is that a fair description of what you're trying to do?
Yes, it is a very good description, and I think I can tie it back to Pedro's comment, which is, well, this is a plugin for the Kubuntu ecosystem. This is not the final product, because the true aspect we're trying to solve is engagement. And you mentioned gamification, but I can ask you this: what is the best motivator for someone? Is it something fabricated in the sense that, like, gamification taps into the same intrinsic motivations as a video game, like, for instance, or is it purpose driven? Because when you allow someone to expose their content, it doesn't need to sell something, but their personal branding, their work, etc., that's purpose driven motivation. It's much more impactful and authentic than gamification. So yes, gamification is a solution, but it should be, in my personal opinion, the last complete resort. What you need is to keep people coming back to your community, because the community offers them something and they offer something to the community, which builds up their life in a sense, gives them purpose, not just gamify it. And I could talk about this literally for hours. There's so much stuff, but we have another product, which is the shared calendar, which taps a lot more into intrinsic motivation. So the visibility, the posts, the events, all that stuff. And this is just a little side product.
Let me just arrange this with Diogo. Diogo, we'll talk offline later. Okay, if you want to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good gamification tools and intrinsic motivators are always purpose driven. We'll chat about it later on offline.
Good ones.
You managed to engage Pedro in two things. You showed a Discord community and you talked about gamification. So you're going to have Pedro all over this for the next couple of days.
Last question. Sorry, I'm going to ask the last question because it's just. Sorry, I'm going to be Columba. It's just. Are you proposing to create any tools that helps the community to understand how the introduction of adverts is actually affecting the engagement on their site?
The introduction of what? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Engagement, because obviously there's a tension between not having any ads and having ads, and obviously some people hate ads, regardless of how good or bad they are. So Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Will there be something to help them understand? Because I could see some communities say, "Well, I'll just try and put as many in as I can." And because I'll make more money that way, but you don't want to. They don't want to kill the goose. The goose.
Exactly, it's a very big concern. So I can talk about this stuff for so long. So I had this very interesting talk from someone from Open Influence a while ago, and I'm going to summarize this as best as possible. But the way people are currently buying right now, the way advertising is tending towards, and this is kind of a long-term trend. It's very subtle at the moment, so it's not major right now, is that influencer marketing and like traditional advertising is very ineffective, like because people don't trust influencers as much, and it's highly expensive. And what he noticed, and this is the guy from Open Influence, it's not me, not my research, but is that people are starting to get more trust and to buy more from their peers, so people they know. So don't see this as like the traditional advertising where you're on Instagram or LinkedIn or whatever, and you just scroll past it because your eyes already tuned into skipping advertising, or the typical influencer advertising you see on YouTube or a podcast or whatever. Think of this as a colleague you know for like a year or two, who you go to events with, who you talk on a daily basis. They're saying, "Hey, check out this cool thing I bought," and it's a friend, and they're selling something to support their business. It's a bit different than traditional advertising in that sense. So it's all about the intention behind it. And awesome question, guys. I really love this.
So we'll find you guys another chat, another Discord channel or something for you guys to keep chatting on that one. And I think we'll move over to Rami. Do you feel ready for this one, Rami? Now you got the code base you need. Oh, hang on, Rami. You are very quiet. Let's see. Try that one again.
You're muted. Sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
can you hear me now?
Yes, perfect.
All right, awesome. Should I start from scratch or should I continue?
Yeah, please. Yeah, start it from the top. Take it from the top, as they say in America.
All right, awesome. So my name is Rami, one of the co-founders of a company called Equizy. Equizy is an AI native fundraising platform, uniting investors, startups, and accelerators to make fundraising smarter, faster, and global. The main value proposition for startups is twofold, starting with investment readiness, to provide various tools and features that help startups become investment ready. And the second part is the matchmaking aspect, where a startup would be matched with the right investors globally, rather than giving a startup a list of investors and that they send them their pitch deck without any kind of matchmaking mechanism in the background. Which yields eventually to a mismatch at the end of the day. So this is what we are seeing here is the startup module. So we have three modules: one for the startup, one for the investor, one for the accelerator. For the startup module, as we see here on the left, we have dashboard, fundraising, investment readiness, and data room. I'll start by reversing them, starting with data room. In my document, similar to data room in the market, you just upload your files and folders. The most important part here is that you can send any document directly from here to a potential investor or a potential peer member of your company. Similarly, you can send it directly for signing. You don't need to use DocuSign or any other tool. It's all embedded in here. And you can track and monitor who has viewed, downloaded, or signed any document that you have shared. So it's quite sufficient enough. And then if I go to investment readiness tools that we provide for startups, most important one that we start with is calculating my company valuation before I engage with any conversation with investors. So to do that, we have automated the whole process of trying to define this calculation by asking lots of questions related to the team, business model, product and market, IP and legal, financials, the capital that is needed, and how this capital is being distributed. And the result for a startup after answering all these questions is to land on this nice dashboard where they would be understanding their pre-money and post-money valuation. Not only that, but also we give them the top 5 valuation methodologies that have been used in this calculation, from scorecard to checklist to DCF, and the weight that is of contribution from each of these valuation methodologies into this calculation. So the startup is fully backed by data whenever they are announcing their valuation to an investor. The idea is not to be rigid about your numbers, but at least to start from somewhere, and ditch the guesswork, I would say. Moving on, we have key metrics. Think about key metrics as the basics of your financial modeling. So it starts by defining the top metrics that a startup should be tracking, financial and non-financial. Of course, you can add your own custom metrics in here. And then you start uploading your data one by one for a specific month and year for your targets and actual, or you can bulk upload using Excel. And the result is for you first as a startup to be able to compare your metrics together, understand exactly your projection. Are you going in the right direction? Is this sexy enough in front of an investor? Do I need to change anything? And then eventually give the same access to a potential investor where they can try the metrics that are mostly important to them and judge if this startup is investable or not. So the real value is pretty much threefold. Pre-investment, so you excite investors here. During investment, you can perform due diligence in here. And post-investment, you can use it as a reporting tool for your current investors of your progress. And of course, we educate the startups of the top metrics that are being used, as well as their definition and how do you use them. Moving on, we have cap table, which is self-explanatory, easy to use. You add your shareholders, you add foundation rounds between the co-founders, you add funding rounds, and you switch between the previous one and the current ones. You add any ESOP if you have ESOP for your employees or your advisors, and if you have any kind of convertible note. Everything in here is exportable to Excel. Moving on, we have scenario modeling, where you try various scenarios to mimic, whatever, funding round you are going after. Right now, we have two different scenarios. Either I'm selling my company or I'm raising a new funding round. And you can see the impact on your cap table. If I'm exiting for 5 million, or if I am raising a new funding round, what is the new number of shares and share volume and value for my current founders and shareholders. Last but not least, which is an AI tool to review your pitch deck. You simply upload your pitch deck and we give you feedback step by step. I'm going to show you one of the examples already published. This iteration, for example, has scored 6.8 out of 10 across team experience, market potential, flow and clarity. We give you the pros, the cons, and general feedback, and then we deep dive into the slides one by one. We give you feedback and recommendation on each and every slide, and this is our unique selling point for this feature. And this is actually the most used feature in the platform at the moment. And the last, which is market size calculator, being built as we speak. A startup would fill in a few fields, and the result would be for them to understand their time, SAM, and SUM directly. After a startup is investment ready, they can build their fundraising. By uploading their pitch deck, we extract all the information that are interesting to investors based on a big survey that we have conducted with various VCs as well as angels. And the result is for you to be able to publish your funding round in front of investors and see how an investor would be able to see it. So if I go to the investor module, an investor would come here to a startup discovery feature. They will start searching for a startup based on various filters. And the result is for them to see all these startups that have been onboarded with Equizy. And they can see, of course, more information. They can download their pitch deck. They can directly connect with the startup founders on LinkedIn, and plus various other features. Of course, they can add these startups into a pipeline where they can move startups around based on the stage of the engagement they have with them. They have all the information synchronized with the startup module. They can assign tasks to their team member, and they can get our AI scoring and also adjust on it, which is something that is quite unique. So they can teach our AI on the best match they should be expecting the next time we publish a startup in front of them. That's it, basically, guys. I'm happy to answer any question you have.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. All right. Senor Guimaraes, what do you think of this one?
Super complete. First of all, congrats on the great demo and quite interesting product. My first question actually is this rigid, or can I, as an investor or as a founder, set up my own parameters to allow me to reach certain goals? For example, when I'm building my valuation, I want to, because there are zillions of ways of making a company's valuation. Can I choose a model of my own, changing the parameters of the weights of things? I don't know. The question is rigid versus flexible, and where and how much?
Yeah, so that's a very valid question. You can put any numbers that you want. At the end of the day, we are counting on the fact that startups should be in a high maturity level at the moment to understand exactly the consequences of a bit exaggerating about their numbers. Plus, the majority of the startups that are onboarded right now, almost 90% of the startups are coming from accelerator programs globally. So they do understand the importance of having legit data. Because anyway, there's a big due diligence round later on that is happening between startups and investors where everything's going to be revealed. So we try also from our end to educate our startups as much as we can. But so far, we haven't seen any situation where there was like a big, huge exaggeration in the numbers startups are pushing. Did I answer your question?
Kinda, yeah. Meaning it's like cheat. It has like a self-cheat control. I understand. But I was thinking on a different way, adding to this, which is like I'm an investor, and when I'm assessing a company where to invest, I favor average age against existing revenue, for example. Okay? And so I want to give a bigger weight to the number of founders or the age of the founders, and a lower to the existing volume, business volume, whatever. I can kind of create my own algorithms as a founder and as an investor So it's not that I'm cheating the truth, it's that I'm putting things under my own perspective. Of course, I know in some areas it must be a common perspective, otherwise it won't work. But I was talking about this type of flexibility.
Yeah. So as you can see on the platform here for startups, they can put any data based on, or any number based on what they see fit, right? But as I've mentioned, it's very like a short period of time for them until they are getting caught to a certain extent. But
Sure.
for investors, when they come here to Startup Discovery, these are the filters that they can search for a startup. So it's really not giving them a lot of space to change things. Either you are bootstrapped or pre-seed. There's not much you change here. Either you are ad tech or fintech or something else of the sort. And these are the main filters that investors have enunciated. This is what we are looking for whenever we are searching, or this is exactly the top metrics whenever we are looking for an investment thesis for investors. So whenever they look for startups here, it's really matching whatever they have seen. We don't have any kind of favoring a startup because their revenue is high to put them on the top, or because their founders have like an exit before to put them on the top. It's really based on like pure filtration from the investors. I hope I am answering your question. If not, I'm happy to elaborate further.
You
I
are.
think this is good, and I think before we head over to Nick, it might be interesting. Diogo, what do you think of this? You're a founder. You're probably going to be raising money, right? What do you think of this?
So I tried raising before. I tested raising, and one of the things I found that was quite difficult is, I came from a software development background, and I had zero clue about the investment world and the financial world and all that. And having a tool that not only simplifies and teaches you how to do it, but also matches you with investors, it's very valuable. And that's all I can add right now.
Yeah, I think
actually,
for most of us, raising money is seen as like an artisanal process, right? It's something that you're kind of curating together, and nobody's quite sure how it's done. And what this is doing is saying, in a reasonably formulaic way, this is most of what everybody's got to deal with. It's not confusing. Actually, it's quite simple when you lay it out. And actually, if we do this stuff up front, we don't get confused later on when everything's more, we're trying to sign and we're all confused about the age of the founders. Actually, it's irrelevant, for 99% of the startups. Occasionally, there's one in the margins that it will be relevant to. But I guess that's what it's saying, Rami, right? It's kind of laying out a production line rather than an artisanal thing.
Exactly.
It's kind of the equivalent of Nespresso versus barista. Yeah.
I love that.
I don't know if you could use that in your marketing. Sorry, I shouldn't make up stuff on the
Well,
fly.
what we have been using so far is Bumble for fundraising.
Bumble for fundraising, okay.
Just to match the youth, kind of generation of startups.
Yeah, I think only Diogo can comment on that. Everybody else in the school just needs to stay away from that. Right? Okay, Dr. Evershed, what do you think of this one? What would you do with it?
Well, yeah, thank you, Rami. Yeah, enjoyed it, and I thought it was a great product. I really enjoyed the fact that it's both a window and from both sides into the other side, but also it's a mirror, particularly for a startup to see where they are and how do they stack up, and it tempers hope and enthusiasm with some facts, and so that's great. My question was that obviously you're using great algorithms, possibly some AI. How easy is that for somebody else to replicate? I asked that because I've seen some products, not this one necessarily, where actually all they are is ChatGPT wrappers, and really the only real IP in it is the ChatGPT element. And I just wonder how easy to replicate, how easy could somebody else just do the same as you?
Yeah, very, very valid question. It's very, very easy to a certain extent, I would say. It took us so far 1.5 years to build the product. It wasn't easy at all. So it would require time at the end of the day. However, when you talk about AI, if we right now put a few questions to ChatGPT at the moment, even the advanced version of it, it wouldn't give you the same results as we are getting at the moment, because we're using, aside from the bot itself, we're using a lot of frameworks from the top standards in the market, including Sequoia Capital, and whatever frameworks that are available out there for the best pitch deck that could be generated, the best financial modeling that you could generate, and the best documentation that you should have in your data room, and so on and so forth. And these things are, changing on a yearly basis, if not on a monthly basis, based on to really mimic whatever trends and whatever changes that are happening on the fundraising aspects of it. So I would say it's easy and hard at the same time, based on various factors. But yeah, we're living in a world where everything is changing on a daily basis. So you never know.
No, that's fair. Is anyone in the market? Any competitors in them? Anyone doing the same similar thing?
There are plenty. I have talked to almost everyone. I would really highly doubt there's a one that I haven't talked to in the past year. There's almost like 50, but none of them is as comprehensive as we are, in general. None of them is really giving attention to the startups as we are doing in terms of features. Some of them might have a cap table. Some of them might have like a little bit, easy design on metrics, but no one is having the full capacity of all of these investment readiness tools that are available at the moment. And we are still building on top of them, because based on our 500 people that we have run a customer discovery on, we have highlighted that the biggest issue for startups is really understanding fundraising, having someone to hold them through the process, because usually founders are super obsessed with their idea, with their MVP, building traction. No one has the time to really learn, how do I reach out to investors? What should I be prepared with, et cetera, et cetera. And this is what our study and data has shown us. So that's why we are superior to a certain extent, or dominant when it comes to investment ratings. In terms of matchmaking, there are some matchmaking tools, but I think we are the first to include AI into it as of the time being.
Go ahead, Pedro. Thank you. The last question, and then I'll share the ideation program stuff. Okay.
Okay. Not even a question. Again, as I did with Diogo, suggested for reflection. I love the way you've built this, honestly, and I love the Match.com for startups and founders solution that you've built. Very, very interesting.
Thank you.
I also believe that a more hybrid thing could be a good. Let's say I'm an accelerator or programmer or whatever. I can use this a white label version of this, and for example, you're making the slide deck assessment. I love AI doing it, but we all know that a human being can add always something more to that. For just as an example, are you considering doing something like this? Because I'm not saying destroy the idea of having the biggest amount of entities on both sides, so startups and investors, which is great, and it's great to have a place like that. But having this as a tool for other things, where human beings can add value to technology and therefore increase the odds for both parties.
Amazing. Thank you so much for this question. So we have a third module that I haven't showed you here right now because of time, which is the partner module, which is basically a version where we are dedicating this platform for accelerators. We have almost we have 14 accelerators that are active on Equisi at the moment, where we have what could be considered as a white label. We give them this so they can run the Equisi on their cohorts. They onboard all their startups, and then their admins, they can monitor and track the startups engagement. So we all know accelerators are great for one-on-ones and workshops and stuff of the sort, but they don't have a tool that helps them understand if the startup has really implemented what they have asked them to do, right? And that's where the power of Equisi and the power of technology plus human in order for a startup to achieve certain milestones. So spot on. Actually, one of the startups that we have on board is Startup Bootcamp, one of the biggest accelerators in Europe. And many others as well. And they are using it for the same reason. So spot on, I would say.
Happy days. All right. Thank you so much. I'll give you a round of applause, both of you. Fantastic.
And
I really like the fact we've been able to be a bit more long form today and ask a few more questions. I'm going to close out just by sharing with everybody the new ideation program that we've just launched at Canopy. And the main reason we're sharing it is because we're offering scholarship places across August for people who are earlier stage than you two are, the ones that are beginning their journey. And this is what they get access to. The scholarship places are just €1 for the 4-week program. So we really want you to just embrace it and give it a go. This takes you through from working out how to set your mind up as a founder up at the beginning, through to how you do customer discovery with a very great Dr. Everset in there, showing you how to kind of interview your customers, etc., through to building your MVP, building your team, and getting that idea ready to pitch it to somebody. So it's a whole basis to kind of do the ideation. It's asynchronous. It's very simple to kind of fit it around everything else you want to do, including having vacation time. And every Friday there's like an intervention, a thing where we all get together and talk about what everybody needs from it. So that all happens on Friday afternoons. So if anybody wants to take that up, just go to the Canopy blog. The code is in there for the scholarship place off the article. It's very easy to find. You just go in there for €1, get access to it. And we're doing this as part of the readiness that we're going to be launching this in Ghana in September. And we've been trying to build programs that have this very low barrier to access. It can be delivered very quickly, very efficiently, and at a low cost point. And that means we can really reach wide into the world and give access to entrepreneurship to many different communities. And this is all part of the Canopy Manifesto to keep reducing those barriers to access and make it so that people who want to be entrepreneurs can just get out there and give it a go. So thank you so much, everybody. Really appreciate you being here today. We've got to decide what to do with the People's Choice, Pedro. And we've got 2 great founders here, and the voting is you, me, and Nick. My vote is for the fact we give a joint award for People's Choice to both of them, right? And I think that's the perfect answer. But what do you reckon we should be doing as the CEO in residence?
I wouldn't agree more. I could not select one today, honestly. So,
but that means you and I are in agreement. That never happens, right?
Yes, that was the only reason I was stumbling, because I'm going to agree with Stuart. Why no? Wait, let's start now.
Come on then, Nick. Nick, you need to argue with it. Maybe you should give the People's Choice Award to Pedro instead, right? Totally.
Not always. He'd win every time. We can't do that.
Okay, fantastic. All right, well, thank you very much, everybody. I hope you enjoy the rest of your summer, and I give you a round of applause.
Thanks, guys.
Good night. All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Pleasure.